NBA draft lottery
Damn it.
2023. San Antonio Spurs get the first pick, so I don't even think we have to even talk about who they're getting. So we already know Victor
It's because it's
Wembanyama
rigged. It's rigged. It's a fluke, I
joining
tell you.
Greg Popovich, their third center, big man in 35 years, I think. I mean,
I think
I
that
don't think
this is
he could ask for a better spot.
Yeah, this is going to extend Pop's career probably longer than if they hadn't won it.
Yep, I agree with that.
I mean, he has a top prospect. He gets that is an organization that knows how to turn things around very fast. They know how to scout and everything.
Yeah.
And for Victor, I'm sure he's happy to be there instead of Charlotte and Portland.
No, James said it earlier. Like it expedites the rebuild because now you're gonna. I guarantee you, they get a player or two who wants to come play with him.
Yeah, I mean, Dame already tweeted out.
I don't know who the player would be that actually comes, but damn it, my Rockets got to play this dude all the time now. I don't want to play this dude.
It's kind of weird having San Antonio bad for a few years. Like, we're so used to them most. I mean, like most of the 90s, all the 2000s being a dominant team. So it's, they've been pretty spoiled franchise.
That's why it was all taken from him like that. Kawhi was like, man, screw you guys. I'm going home. And he left. And then they were just no good no more.
But now they're back. But yeah, thank God Charlotte didn't get Victor. That would have been a tragedy.
That would have been bad for both of them because Charlotte don't know what they're doing. And poor Victor. All right, we'll move into Charlotte then. Who are they going with the second pick?
Well, we all think something, and then other people think something, and they think something. So let's just think about their rosters. Like, you need wings on that team. I don't see a point guard playing very well with Melo, so it has to be Brandon Miller, in my opinion. It just has to.
Because the only asset you have is a point guard.
So let's add two.
Word.
I mean,
or trade the pick.
If we're being, I mean, that is a possibility, I think, for them because they need a lot. But Charlotte is Charlotte. Like, do we have faith that they're going to make the right pick?
So here's the key. Here's the thing, James. Is like we talked about this earlier on something else we did. So let's just say, for instance, the pick is tradable. Like, who needs a point guard? Because that's a point guard spot. If you're Charlotte, do you trade that pick to a team like Orlando for both of their first round picks?
6 and 11. I think you take Brandon Miller.
You think he's going to be that good?
I think he could be that good. And if you need another foundational guy, and you're not getting that at 6 and 11, y'all though at 6, trading 6 for 4, that could be a good trade both ways.
I just think we have too much youth on our team anyway.
Yeah.
Like, we literally have we have 6 first-round picks in the past 2 years. And now you put 2 more, it's 8. And then you're trying to find playing time for, like, Kenyon Martin, who's a player we bought from Sacramento. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm fearful. Maybe Houston should consider trying to trade up to get a point guard for sure that you want. I just think that Orlando would be stupid not to make that offer because if you put Scoot on that team with Paolo, that team is going to look nice.
That'd be dirty.
Yeah, as far as Orlando, I'd be packaging 6 and 11 to get.
Because I also think that 3, Portland is in play for a trade.
Portland I mean, Nick has talked about. We've talked about this for like 2 years now, that Portland's just one of those teams that's just stuck in that middle. And this is a big moment for them as a franchise because if you want to keep doubling down with Dame, I think that, oh my God, Jokic at the buzzer. I think that affects who you take here. If you're still trying to win now, now for whatever reason.
Okay, say for
maybe you get a
instance,
guy like
you have that thought process before you make a trade. I didn't mean to cut you off. And I know you're in win now mode, right? What if I'm a team like Toronto who has the 13th pick, come to you and say, look, I will give you 13 and Pascal for the number 3 pick and Jeremy Grant. Do you make that trade?
if you're trying to win now as Portland, yeah. I can see them doing that shit.
Yeah, me too. I think that a trade like that's going to happen for him. I really do. I just don't foresee you bringing in a pick at number 3. Like, who's gonna take the reins from Dame? Because if this guy's good enough for people to say fuck it, trade Dame, then that means you're gonna trade Dame and you're gonna be stuck with this guy to try to carry a team on his own, and then you're back in the same boat.
Well, and Dame and Simons are so ball dominant that you don't want another ball handler. Like, that doesn't make any sense, which I know excites you guys. So if this order stays as is, I could definitely see Scoot go to 4. Although recent history, like look at what the Cavs did when they drafted Darius Garland and Sexton, and everyone was like, why are they drafting a redundant position? Like, sometimes franchises will take the best talent available, but Portland's secretly like not that well run of a franchise.
Oh, it's not a secret.
I can see that. I just don't think they get enough credit for how badly they're run, or how they get too much credit. I don't know.
They don't get enough criticism for how bad they are.
There we go. That's the word. They don't get enough criticism how they run. And not only like historically with like Greg Oden and not taking MJ, all that. It's just they do these. Like, after LaMarcus Aldridge left, they've never really adjusted, and they've never found anyone to play with Dame, and that's on them.
That was
like
one of the best teams he played on.
Yeah. They had the McCollum era, which never did shit really, and then they had the current post McCollum making 3 trades at every deadline, trying to piece it together.
I just feel like that's a tradable pick because that team is in need of bigs, in my opinion, and there just ain't very good ones in this draft. So if you could get Siakam to come in and play the 4 or the 5, I can see something like that happen. Especially because they're like, oh, we're just going to 13. We're still going to get a player.
This might be a wild offseason in terms of trades, and that could kick it off.
Because there's some shitty things that happen in this playoffs, and I think there's be names being traded. Like,
wait, I guess we'll get to them. Never mind. Yeah, I agree.
All right, so who we got going to Portland on our?
Let me ask you this, James: if Brandon Miller goes 2, is Ausar Thompson? Is that too early for him at 3? Because he's a wing.
I don't think it's too early if they're going wing.
I think that's what they need is a wing.
I feel like top 5, you can kind of, after the 1, of course, you can fiddle with the rest of that of like, all right, what do I need with talent wise?
I can see them getting one of the, yeah. You think it'd be Ausar or
well, Amen is more of the point guard. Like, he's more of the facilitator, and I don't think that they would want that. The other one's more of a shot creator, hard shot maker. He's more like a bucket getter to me, and I think that's what they want. Because I think Shaedon Sharpe is a really good player. I just don't know what kind of player he's like score he's going to be long term. Are you more than just a dunker?
Mox initially before. Like, I've seen mocks that have Amen going 3 and Scoot 2, and I'm like, that's what's crazy about this draft is like obviously number 1 set in stone, but 2 through 5 can go a number of different ways. And I agree though. I think they get the Twins, which would leave you guys in a good spot.
Yeah, that's why I was like, don't worry about it. Either way, I still think that we're going to come out ahead because if we don't get Scoot, then we're going to get one of the Twins. So we're good.
Yeah. So I guess
At 4.
moving on to the Rockets then. Number 4.
If you give me a preference on the twin, it's Amen Thompson. If you give me a preference over everybody, it's Scoot.
So, I mean, we know we need a point guard on this
Yes.
team. So, it kind of.
If you put Scoot with those guys that you have,
Yes.
Scoot and
Texas is going to be fun, except for Dallas.
Fun. Dallas going to be like, what the heck? All right. Now we go into Detroit, which is probably the one that
They lost.
got gut checked
Yep.
the most. They got
1
the
to
5th
5.
pick.
That sucks. And they could have used
Not really.
a top pick.
That team is being ran so poorly also. How much talent are y'all wasting over there?
They're wasting talent. They're not nailing the picks. I mean, the Cade pick was a good pick. They had no idea he was going to have this many injuries early, but it's rough. They're in a rough spot, and I liked the Ivy pick.
I didn't.
No.
I get why they did it at the time because you didn't need anything else. You had Sadiq Bey, which you botched that. And now you just have a team full of big men. Like, you need shooting. You need wings on that team.
Watch them go after Aiden. They'll get. It's like getting these highly drafted centers who didn't work out.
The problem is they actually have one on that team who can hoop. Jalen Duren is the best center on that team. Like, that dude is baby Dwight for real.
Yeah,
so
we're gonna trade him.
That's trade him to Houston. I dare you. I'll give you Sengun for Jalen Duren. Heads up right now. Straight up. Like, Jalen Duren's good like that. But it's like you're wasting. Wow. You got Bagley on that team. You got James Wiseman on that team. You got Stewart on that team. How many big men do you need?
Another one. Hey. All right, so
who's running y'all? DJ Khaled?
who we got? Ben Wallace and the Detroit Pistons pick.
I got a shooter going here like Grady Dick, maybe Cam Whitaker from Nova, somebody like that. I think
the Villanova guy, or whatever Thompson.
True, I could see that.
All right, Detroit. Now we move on to Orlando Magic, one of their 2 picks that they have. Number 6.
I don't know what you do because they've drafted everything.
There's so many young guys that they could go. They could kind of get a little risk. I think they could take a higher upside guy here if they wanted to.
Like a Cam Whitmore, whatever from Nova. Like, he's the kind of guy who might help. I don't say help that team. No, because me and Nick talked about this earlier. I need perimeter defense on this team from somewhere. That's what I would be looking for.
Kason Wallace from Kentucky is good.
Because like those point guards are kind of small. You have Wagner starting at the 2 sometimes, and he's good, but he's more of a small forward to me, a slow small forward at that. I'll be looking for perimeter defense and shooting.
Yeah, that's why I like the Wallace pick. But yeah, I agree because they have the building blocks. Basically, to be this year's OKC.
Ooh,
calling it.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to think because you might be right. I'm trying to think if they could get enough production off their bench.
At least
I kind of like. I like how Fultz's been playing for them, but what backup bigs are on that team? They traded Bamba. Is Bobo on that team still?
Oh yeah, Bobo. Yeah, he had a good year.
Oh yeah, they're for sure going to be like the OKC of the East.
Forgot about Bobo. There was a moment there where Bobo was getting some real minutes.
Yep.
All right.
So we're just going wing for now. We'll have better predictions later. But
yeah, This is less
That's
of a
it.
mock draft, more of a needs.
Yeah. And reaction, because we're so glad Orlando don't get another fucking pick in the top 3.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, same with Detroit. Indiana Pacers number 7.
I told you earlier, I think that they need a big man, and Jarris Walker from the University of Houston just fits that team.
I was gonna say they could also use some perimeter defense too, because they've got some shooters, and they got Miles Turner.
They got
Are you
Turner.
seeing the pair with Turner, or do you think Turner's finally gonna move?
I think he could be a replacement for Turner because they're very similar. I think that, man, this is gonna be messed up. I think that Turner's a little smoother in what he does, and Jarris Walker is a little bit more like Kenneth Faried, more bouncy. So I'm trying to think if they could play together. I think they could, but I wouldn't be opposed to Jarris Walker coming off the bench for a little bit. Something about him just strikes me as an Eastern Conference player. I think that's what's stuck in my head. But as a need, what do they need?
They need
somebody who. They need a big who could get a bucket in the post.
That would help with Halliburton. You could have a better pick and roll partner with Halliburton.
Mathurin was a good pickup last year. You got guards on that team. You got Turner. So again, a wing on that team.
This was tough for Indiana. Like, they have good players, but they need like more great players, and it's tough to do at 7. Even though this is a deep draft.
I guarantee you, somewhere between 4 and 14, there's going to be a couple really good players there. Like, I'm talking about really good.
Yep. And we've seen that in recent history too, with like Booker and Mitchell. And it's easier to get excited about the top 4 or 5, and sometimes it takes longer for those 4 through 14. But yeah, you're right.
This draft sucks really because there's no bigs. Like, that's what they need. If you're the Pacers, do you use that pick and try to shop it, see if you could get you a big from somewhere?
I think they're still too young. They're too in the rebuilding phase.
I think that team is a really good score away from being a for sure playing team.
Yeah, but what do you want to become? Like, if you want to become something legit, you're going to need to nail this pick. But
see, I think that's where teams like them in Washington get stuck, is they're so adamant about making sure they get that one guy, chasing that one guy to build around, that they don't use their assets to their. I don't know. I would try to trade that pick and see if I could get me somebody. Like, what would it cost me to get Big Cat? To a lesser degree, like Julius Randle.
Oh man, James's McDonald's Wi-Fi missing. I'll take him off until he comes back on. What pick were we at? Washington?
Yeah. We were talking about Indy, and we were moving to Washington. Washington, they need to figure out what they're doing, and then we could figure out what to tell them they're doing wrong, because I have no clue what's going on over there.
Definitely one of the worst franchises being run in the NBA.
They have wasted picks. You overpaid Bradley. That's just one of those teams that are just too fucking scared. You're like 3 years too late of trading Bradley Beal, and you're paying for it right now.
And then you go get Kristaps, and then you go and get
Kuzma.
Kuzma, and it's just like, and then you're not good, and you're like, well, what do we do now? It's like you said, they're scared. They're scared of.
You got a shit ton of picks that none of them panned out. Hachimura didn't pan out. Abia didn't pan out. The white dude from Gonzaga, Kispert, he didn't pan out. The dude last year, he sucks. Like, what are you doing? You should have just fucking kept John Wall. This is the biggest mistake they made when they traded Russ.
Oh, yeah.
He at least got him to the play-in. or the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to Utah Jazz.
I think they go best player available. There's a shit ton of guards and 2 guards in this draft that can help them, and they need guards. You got bigs like to play right now, so get you somebody to score.
Yeah, I mean they have a nice young team. We've talked about it before. They're set up well with what they have and the picks and everything. So they overachieved this year from what it seems like.
It's a good spot to try to find a running mate for Lauri Markkanen.
True. Yeah. All right, James, you back, bro? Hey. Slowly. No. All right, Dallas Mavericks number 10.
They also need a big man. That'd be just because there's not a lot of big men. That's probably one of those picks that I would shop around to see if I can get me one.
Yeah, they with Luka and Kyrie there, you don't really want to. I mean, I get when people are like, "Oh, get young talent," but if I can go get something that's going to help me now, I mean,
hey, like, not to say this is like the greatest of ideas or it's even going to work, but like that pick might get you a DeAndre Ayton.
I was thinking of him. I was like, because they're going to move on from that dude.
And I'm pretty sure Phoenix would like to have that number 10 pick and draft them a point guard because they sure look like they needed one.
Yeah. Who was their point guard? They had Chris
Paul.
Paul.
It was supposed to be Chris Paul. And then Payne.
Yeah, Payne. It was painful to watch him. Orlando Magic 11, their next pick.
What did we have them going last time? A wing? No. Yeah, a wing, shooter, perimeter defense. I think you go best player available. Like you can do that at 11 if you're them. Or trade the pick. I'm all about trading picks.
I feel like these 11 through 14 are going to be more of like best player. And then if somebody wants to trade in for something they want, then I can trade. Like, I mean, OKC. You don't even need more. It seems like you have so many damn picks and players anyway.
These dudes are about to have an expansion team with the picks that they don't need.
Yeah. I just man. So I guess OKC. We'd said they needed probably shooting, right?
I think they need shooting. Like they wouldn't hurt them. So I'd go shooting. Or also best player available. See what you can get.
Yeah. And I think that's what these are. Toronto, I mean, depending on how their rebuild's going to go on 13, will they trade out? Will they get a player out there? Will they move up with their pick and a player, like you said, Siakam earlier? And so going into them and then the Pelicans, a lot of these teams that are close to play-in and close to playoffs, I feel I've never had like where I'm like, oh man, there's gonna be so many trades in draft. But for some reason, this one feels it because you have players like Siakam, DeAndre Ayton, Karl Anthony Towns that are out there, and we know they're available.
Mm-hmm.
Who needs them? And then what player do I want in the draft to move up and get and all that stuff? And so, I mean,
I feel like because all those players' value went down so bad that there's gonna be a lot of moves because, like, don't be surprised if like Julius Randle, Trae Young, maybe even Jordan Poole, those kind of people, Van Vliet.
Yeah,
I think that OKC can literally do whatever the fuck they want with that pick because they still got Chet coming back. So that's like having a rookie. That is having a rookie.
A top 3 pick right there coming back. So on a team that did really well with Shea balling out the whole year. So, I mean,
first team all NBA balling out.
Yeah. You good, James? His hotel's like, nah, you ain't doing no videos today, bro.
Hating on my Spurs.
That's what it is, they're Spurs fans. Oh man. All right, well. Yeah. You Your
I did a
picture
speed
looks like-
test, and it was
what?
speed test, and it was a 2. It was two upload.
Oh man.
It's like
Yeah, we just sped
it's
through it.
1990s.
All right, NBA.
You probably already
fans.
touched.
Yeah, go. You
Real
go, James. Get it in.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm like not trying to cut you off, just so slow.
No, you're good.
Dallas's pick was top 10 protected, right?
Mm-hmm.
They
It was all rigged. It was rigged. The NBA was like, "We're gonna help you, dumbasses, but not by a lot. We're just gonna let you keep it."
keep it, but it's gonna suck.
Trade it.
Yeah.
Me and Nick were talking about maybe Dallas take that pick and go try to get DeAndre Ayton with it.
Yeah, they would still make the play.
Yeah, probably.
I think
I'm not
Aiden
Ayton.
would actually do well there.
Ayton did good when Chris Paul made basketball easy for him. Luka will make basketball easy for Ayton.
But would that make sense for Phoenix? Yeah.
Well, see, Phoenix, it makes sense because that means I have the number 10 pick in this draft. What do I need? I need a point guard because I don't trust Chris Paul. And if you are here, Chris Paul, I still have a point guard I'm paying very little money to that can learn from you, and he's going to be probably pretty good. And then you still have a couple serviceable centers on that team.
The good thing is, too, in the NBA, you get a lot of the 3, 4, 5 team trades. So you can actually move Chris Paul probably also, like they've said they wanted to.
Ain't nobody doing that. Ain't nobody doing that.
Who likes injured players? The LA Clippers like injured players. So just send them over there with them. And
You guys have cat space.
Well, I just say ain't nobody doing that.
I'll take Russell Westbrook over Chris Paul's hand.
Wow.
That's a topic for another video, though. All right, NBA fans, if you agree, we don't really care because it's still early. We got until June 22nd until all this comes out. It'll be a few weeks until we start getting a lot more solidified picks for sure. What trades happen? I think after finals was when the stove will heat up on this. But make sure you like, subscribe. We're gonna have you covered on all NBA content for your team, for our team, for everything going on. We're going to be doing the draft and everything. Join us. We promise you it'll be fun. Other than that, we're out, people. Later.
How much I'm working for this? I swear my dreams are too important.